today we've got a dragon inspired mani on account of I'm such a big dork for all things sci-fi, fantasy and stuff like that. So what do you need? I've got a Madam Glam One-Step black gel as well as the standard Perfect Black. And the reason for that is because I'm using the One-Step using my chrome hack method on the ring finger here. Then we've got this one which the Christmas fairies brought me, and it's not you, it's me. I've also used some matte top coat on my pointer finger over this product which is the same as this, which is Chameleon Flake. I have got one of these fish scales. It's actually this one called Benigoi. And if I find out if it has some Japanese meaning, I will flash it up on screen in the editing process. So you can see that this looks very kind of like red, orange, gold with kind of green highlights. What you can't really pick up except with the naked eye is that it's got like a pearl finish rather than like a super glittery shiny finish. And then on the thumb, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that they're the same, it's only really to the naked eye that you can see the difference. We have got Kokaku, which reminds me of Reeves and Mortimer, you know, Iranu, Ufafu. And you can see here probably quite a bit more that it's quite glittery. It looks really kind of green as opposed to this, but when you see them together, there isn't a huge difference. And I think that's because this is primarily kind of red orange and flips green, and this is primarily green and flips orange. Anyway, so these are called the Aurora mermaid fish scales, and they're available from Glitterard, the link in the box. So onto this little lovely, and this is a Chameleon Flake, and this one is called Electric Shock. So even though it's flakes, it still behaves the same way as a pigment, in that you can kind of pat it on, as I have done with this, into the tacky layer. And if you see there, this is why it's called a chameleon. You can see that it's flipping from kind of purple and red through gold and green there. And so that one's patted in, and then I've put matte top coat over the top. And then this one I've done using the chroming hack method, as I mentioned, with the no wipe, and I've basically rubbed that in with a tiny little piece of makeup sponge. Finally, the middle finger, or sweary as I like to call it, what we'll be doing is we'll be building up these 3D sections, which I hope that you can kind of see there. Yeah, we'll be building those up with the gel bottle ink. Yes, I know that the bottle is cruddy because I've had this for ages. Rubber top coat, which is a no wipe kind of builder, and it's perfect for chroming on. You might have seen my embossed hollow chrome quickie video, and since then, which was about like 6-7 months ago, I've been wanting to use this on a mani, and finally I've got the opportunity. And I'm going to be using it with one of my Did Spade pigments that I've had like forever, and this one's called Wildfire. And there she is. And if you're another glitterati girl, you'll know that Joe's now got the chameleon pigments in, so I would put this one at somewhere between Bethany and Charlie, probably tending more towards Bethany. And yeah, basically all I've done is I've put the detail on and then chromed into that kind of rubber layer. And also the rubber top coat is what I've used to secure these fish scales in place, and then to encapsulate them and make sure it's all nice and smooth. So before I do any of the other nails, first off we'll do the kind of the glitter point on my thumb, and this is using the Kokaku. I can't say that without thinking Iranu or Fafu. Sorry, I'll be using the Kokaku mermaid scales, and I'll be using an orange stick and a little detailer brush just to get my rubber top coat. And if you wanted, you could actually put a layer of this all over the nail. It has been nestled in my boobs, getting warm, so it will flow a bit better. You could put it all over the nail, but I do prefer to do my outline I like to put the actual shape on my thumb just so that I know when to stop with the glitter, because otherwise I've got no clue. I just don't know when to stop. I see the glitter, I go glitter mad. Anywho, so that's all I'm doing, is just putting that little triangle on there, and that's just to give the glitter particles something to grab onto. And I will not do all of this on screen because otherwise that would be quite tedious, but just to show you the basic technique, first off, let's just get a little bit of sticky from the residue on my minging container, and I start at the bottom on the outer edge, and I want to make sure that that flat edge is toward the cuticle and that there's another flat edge to the side. If I can get it to focus. Oh, this is going to be so annoying. There you can see there. The other flat edge is on this kind of sloping angle of the triangle shape. And then you get another one. And it's a bit like going to the beach and counting grains of sand. And then you put it on there like that. Magic. And then you do it again. Keeping always that flat edge at the bottom near the cuticle. And what I'm also doing, if you can see, is overlapping them a little bit like fish scales, and that's why I'm kind of starting at the bottom. And then when I go up to the next row, I will overlap that slightly, and again I'll make sure that I keep a flat edge to this side, and that's it. It's as simple as just hand placing individually about 100 pieces of glitter in a tiny area on your nail so that they look like scales. Anyway, I'm going to cure this only for 30 seconds just to like part cure it, and then it will get top coated in rubber top until I'm confident that everything's kind of encapsulated, and then I will leave it until the end of the mani. So first up, we're going to do the dragon skin nail, and for this what I'm going to do is use this detailing brush, and I've decanted a little bit of my gold It's Not You, It's Me glitter polish just onto the back of a stamping plate. I basically deconstruct the pattern down into a series of lines. So first I'm going to put my parallel lines on, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a little bit, so 6 lines, and they all go in kind of this corner direction. My first one up here at the top, and don't worry if it looks quite faint, you can kind of like build this up. And what I'll do is I'll put a few details at a time and then kind of flash cure in between. And I'm just checking that that's kind of even, and it is pretty much. And there we go. So I've got those lines, and I'm going to flash cure them for 10 seconds. So now I'm going to do more parallel lines, and these ones are going to be the ones coming kind of down over to make that lozenge shape. And I've just realised that I didn't check if the camera was focused, so hopefully you can see there. So I'm just making these roughly parallel to each other and roughly at a 45-degree angle. So those are flash cured, and now I'm going to do my other lines, and those are going to be going in the other 45-degree angle like that and joining up to the original lozenge shape. And then I'll flash cure them, and I'll repeat this process on the other side. So that's all on now. I've got my lozenges on, and the next bit that I want to do are these edges here, which I just think frilly knickers, it's real easy. So just a dab, and I'll just show you a couple of these and then do the rest off screen because it's better for me to be kind of close up. So you just basically do like a little scalloped edge like that. What you wanted to be able to do is to then put like a slightly irregular shaped dot in that kind of circle-ish. So I'll show you again. It's just like that. So just like a little scallop. We've got the dragon skin nail all matted up, so we're going to leave this at this stage, and the reason for the mat is twofold. One, when you put in your pigment on top of here, obviously it provides a barrier where the pigment won't rub in, and also so that I can put my flakes on these two nails. So let's get these chameleon flakes on, and all I do is I just take my little piece of sponge, just give it a little dip in. I just want to kind of pat that in a rough stripe across the nail, and you can see that I've only got partial coverage there. So let's go again, and a little bit there, and I'm pretty sure that that should be enough. Now on this finger I'm going to use the chroming method, which is to vigorously rub it and to load up quite well. So I'm just rubbing that in to this one step gel, which is basically all in one, no wipe. And now we're ready to use the rubber top coat again, using my chrome embossing method, and this time I've left it out of my boobs so that it's not flowing, it's much more sticky, because that's what we want. We want it to hold a 3D shape, and we're going to do it in stages, and it's perfectly fine to do it in stages. So first up, what we're going to do is we're going to do the dots, and I do this in stages so that I don't lose the height. Obviously we want it to be like kind of raised and embossed. So what I do first is what I call pogo the bead on, and then if you can see there, just kind of wiggling until it snaps. That's not actually big enough though. So you can go in again, smoosh it a bit more, pogo in for height, and then wiggle off. If you feel like you need a little bit more height, you just dab on and pull up again just before you pop it in your lamp. So I've part cured the rubber top for 30 seconds, and now I'm just getting the tiniest little bit of my pigment, which is Did Spade Wildfire, and just rub it in. And the reason why I'm doing it at this stage is because I don't want it to overcure. I want to be able to do it in stages, but I don't want to overcure and not be able to get that pigment in. And there you can see it just goes on nice and easy, and then you just give a little dust off just so that you don't get any excess pigment on your brush when you're doing the other areas. And I'm not going to do all of this on screen, but I will leave you with a little tip. When you've got just a little bit left on your brush from doing one of the thicker areas, it's useful to go to one of the kind of lozenge shapes. When you've just got a little bit on your brush, it's easy to get that kind of point on there and to get that detail in where it's a bit harder when you've got a fully loaded brush. So that's basically what I do, and then I just build up the centre once I've got another kind of blob, and just kind of lay that over, but just stay away from the edges so that they don't go all blobby, but just kind of pop that in the centre just to get the height that I need for my 3D shape. Once all of the chroming and embossing has been done on this nail, this will get a coat of no wipe, part cured, and then another coat of just regular top coat. So I'm all dragon skinned and cured up, and we've got the finished manicure, if the camera would focus, So we've got the mermaid scale glitters on the thumbs and the pinkies, and then on the I can't stretch my fingers that way. On the pointers and the ring fingers, we've got the chromed and the patted chameleon flakes, and then of course we've got our lovely dragon skin on the swearies. So just a bit of fun. This it's a little bit whoa for everyday wear. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this mani, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.